Alright guys, Curt2418 here for Online Holdem Tools. We are making a late video for a MTT $2 buy-in. Just inside the money, there's about 50 players remaining or so. Let's jump right into it here. It's a hand history review, not a sweat video. So pick up 8-10 here, we just fold, so we're going to skip ahead to the next hand. We pick up pocket kings here. Blinds are 4 and 800. We make it 2400. It's a little too big in relation to the blinds compared to the stack sizes, as they're all relatively short, between 20 and 30 big blinds. So that being said, just make it 2.5, make it 2000. Alright, so it's folded and we get one caller. Flop comes queen 9-8. I believe I decide to bet out here. I don't really like it because this guy's relatively short stack. He's sitting at like 21 BBs. There's 6,800 in the pot. So if we don't bet here and we check to him, there's a decent chance that he'll fire at this pot, or even huge overbet and ship in to just try and take it down there. There is the chance that we're going to give him a free card. So I don't remember any reads we had on him. But if he was a tight player who's not going to bet, without a monster draw or a made hand, then I like the firing here and just hope he has some sort of a draw that he's willing to call with. But if he's pretty aggressive and he likes to, take shots at pots and whatnot, I would prefer a check here and let him try and take a stab at this flop than just reship on him. Okay, so he does fold down, we take it down. So we'll just skip ahead here. In the big blind with 7-jack. Under the gun limp, raised, we just fold. We're just folding the 4-7 as well. Just quickly here, I do just, flat out fold it. But the new trend is, instead of, raising 3x and trying to steal the big blind that way, it's just so obvious. And players, even at the lower stakes, are very aware that people will try and steal, a huge range from the small blind, if not any two cards. So they will repop you or ship in on you a huge majority of the time. So it doesn't really become profitable to steal out of the small blind unless you have a read on the player in the big blind, and he's not going to shoot back at you. But sort of the new trend is just limping in against players who will let you see a flop and then just firing at them. Because your first act, you can get the first bet in there, and players are only going to hit the flop 1 out of 3 times. So we'll just keep moving along here. 10 deuce from on the button. It's folded around to us. This is a spot where you could go for a steal if these players were deeper, but they're so short that the odds of them shipping in on you are pretty likely, so just fold your hand here. And personally, I don't really have a range for stealing out of the big blind at the lower stakes. I pretty much do it with any 2 cards, simply because you're not getting 3-bet unless the players, in the blinds have a hand, and at which point you can relatively easily just throw your hand away, unless obviously you have a hand. But it's just so easy to play against them that I pretty much steal any 2 cards in that position. So just keep going along here. The Jack-9 with a limper, we fold. Your re-steal range has to tighten up when you're getting limpers. especially at the lower stakes. Limp equals pocket pair, like 70% of the time, and they're going to be calling your bet with that pocket pair. So your range has to tighten up when you're against a limper at the lower stakes, or any stakes for that matter. So you just go ahead and fold. Basically, you have to have some sort of a hand in order to try and steal if there's a limper in front of you.